This is not a hypothetical scenario. This is happening right now. Following US and Israeli strikes on Iran, Tehran has claimed the Strait of Hormuz is closed. Petrol prices have jumped 50 cents a litre across Australia. Diesel has pushed toward $3 a litre. Hundreds of service stations are reporting outages. When fuel runs short, the power grid is next. No diesel means no backup generators, no coal deliveries, and no gas supply. Experts warn a prolonged shortage could trigger rolling blackouts, empty supermarket shelves, and spike food prices by up to 50%. Now imagine your neighbour is panicking with a fridge full of rotting food while you calmly walk to your pantry and open a stockpile of shelf-stable Australian foods that need no refrigeration and no cooking. That is not fantasy. That is preparation. And in this video, I am going to show you 12 Australian foods you can grab right now that would keep your family fed for 90 days without power. Every kilojoule of food from an Australian farm is moved by diesel. Transport companies report fuel costs have surged by up to 70%, with some trucking businesses parking their vehicles entirely. Up to 80% of Australia's refined fuel comes via Asian refineries dependent on Middle East routes. National reserves sit well below the recommended 90 days. The 12 products on this list were chosen because they solve fundamental human needs without electricity: nutrition, energy, health, morale, no fridge, no stove, no microwave. Just open and eat. They are all Australian made or grown, so less exposed to import chaos. They are all on supermarket shelves right now, and most cost less than a flat white. Number 12. Arnott's Vita Wheat Crackers. We are starting with the humble cracker, and there is a reason it makes the list. Arnott's Vita Wheat has been feeding Australians for generations. More than 9.2 million packs are sold every single year. These crackers are made with 100% whole grain wheat right here in Australia. They are a natural source of fibre and contain vitamin B3 to help unlock energy. Here is why they matter in a no power scenario. When the bakeries shut down and bread becomes a distant memory, you need a shelf-stable carbohydrate base. Vita Wheat delivers exactly that. They require no refrigeration. They require no cooking. They pair perfectly with tinned fish or peanut butter or anything else you have stockpiled. Or keep them sealed in their original packaging in a cool, dry place. A few boxes of these in your pantry and you have a bread replacement that lasts for months. They cost a few dollars. They take up almost no space. And when the power is out, they become genuinely precious. Consider storing them in airtight containers, once opened, to extend their crispness even further. The whole grain content means you are getting genuine nutrition, not just empty carbohydrates. Number 11. Sanitarium Wheat Bix. This iconic yellow box has been in Australian kitchens since the 1910s. Wheat Bix was developed by Benison Osborne in Sydney and has become Australia's #1 breakfast cereal. You will find it in households all over the country, loved by generations of Aussies. But this is not just about nostalgia. Wheat Bix is 97% whole grain wheat fortified with iron and B vitamins. An unopened packet stored in a cool, dry place maintains its quality for months past the printed date. Here is the survival application. You can eat Wheat Bix dry if you have to. You can crush them into other foods for added nutrition. Pair them with long life milk or even just water, and you have a filling meal that requires zero cooking. Each biscuit provides sustained energy release, not a sugar spike that crashes. In a prolonged blackout, that sustained energy keeps you functional and alert. Stock up on the big boxes. They are cheap, they last, and they work. You can even crumble them into honey for a quick energy bar substitute. The iron fortification is particularly important during extended emergencies, when your diet becomes restricted and fatigue sets in. Number 10. Uncle Toby's Rolled Oats. For over 130 years, Uncle Toby's has been supporting Australians with 100% Australian grown oats. This is not some imported product. This is genuinely local. Oats are one of the most versatile survival foods you can own. They naturally contain fiber, including a special type called beta-glucan, which supports heart health by lowering cholesterol. But here is the real magic for a no-power situation. You do not need to cook oats. Make overnight oats by soaking them in water. By morning, you have a perfectly edible, nutritious meal with zero heat required. Add some Capilano honey, and you have a genuinely enjoyable breakfast without using any fuel. 1 kilogram bag provides multiple meals. The shelf life is around 300 days when stored properly. Oats fill you up. They give you slow-release energy that lasts for hours, and they cost next to nothing. Uncle Toby's has been doing this since 1861. Trust the process. Stock your pantry with oats, and you have a breakfast solution that works whether the power is on or off. Number 9. Devondale Long Life Milk. Here is something most people overlook. Devondale UHT full cream milk is made from 100% pure Australian milk. It is heat treated at the source to lock in freshness, flavor, and over 10 essential nutrients, including calcium, protein, and vitamin A. The critical detail is this. Sealed in its Stay Fresh pack, Devondale UHT milk stays fresh for up to 9 months without refrigeration. 9 months. That is extraordinary. Only once you open it do you need to keep it cold. For families with children, this is essential. Kids need calcium. They need the nutrition that milk provides. In a crisis, you cannot just substitute water and hope for the best. Growing bodies require specific nutrients, and milk delivers them efficiently. Store your Devondale cartons in a cool, dry place. Rotate your stock. Once the power goes out and fresh milk spoils within hours, these long life cartons become liquid gold. Buy a case. Tuck it away in the back of your pantry. You will thank yourself later. The full cream variety provides more calories, which matters when you are rationing food. Pour it over your Wheat Bix or oats, and you have a complete breakfast that feels almost normal, even when nothing else is. Number 8. John West Canned Tuna Protein. This is where most emergency food plans fall apart. John West has been a pantry staple for Australian families for decades. Their tuna features chunky pieces of wild-caught fish with a clean, mild flavor. A single can provides high-quality protein plus omega-3 fatty acids plus calcium. And here is the beautiful thing. It is ready to eat straight from the can. No cooking required. No refrigeration needed. Canned foods with a shelf life of more than 2 years do not even need a date under Australian food standards. As long as the can remains intact, it is safe. John West tuna pairs with your Vita Wheat crackers for an instant meal. It goes into a cold rice salad. It works on its own when you are hungry and exhausted. The omega-3 content supports brain function, which you will need when making decisions under pressure. Buy the multi-packs. Mix up the flavors. Spring water, olive oil, chili. Variety matters when you are eating from your stockpile for weeks on end. Your taste buds will thank you for the diversity. Keep a manual can opener stored with your supplies because an electric one will be useless. Number 7. SPC Canned Fruits and Vegetables. In April 2019, Coles signed a partnership agreement with SPC, one of Australia's oldest providers of preserved fruit. These cans contain 100% Australian peaches, apricots, pears, and vegetables sourced directly from local orchards. When fresh produce vanishes from the shelves within days of a crisis, your body starts breaking down fast. Scurvy, weakened immunity, nutritional deficiencies. These become real threats within weeks. SPC canned goods solve this problem completely. The canning process creates a sterile, sealed environment. Food Standards Australia confirms these foods are safe well beyond the best before date. That date is about taste, not safety. SPC Pro Vital products have a shelf life of 24 months from manufacture. The fruits retain vitamins, minerals, and fiber. They require no cooking. Your kids can eat peaches straight from the can. The syrup in canned fruits also provides quick energy and can be used to sweeten other foods. Build variety in your stockpile. Peaches, pears, corn, beetroot, tomatoes. Nutritional diversity keeps your body functioning when everything else has failed. Do not drain the liquid either. because it contains water-soluble vitamins that leached from the fruit during processing. Number 6. Bega peanut butter. Never oily, never dry. And Bega peanut butter has been made in Port Melbourne for over 55 years, with the same recipe delivering the roasted peanut taste Australians love. After Bega Cheese Limited acquired the former Kraft Peanut Butter Factory, this iconic spread stayed on home soil under Australian ownership. Here is why peanut butter is a survival essential. It is shelf stable. Once opened, it can be stored in the pantry right up until the best before date. No refrigeration required. Nutritionally, it delivers protein-healthy fats, vitamin B3, and magnesium in every spoonful. A single tablespoon provides dense calories that keep you full for hours. Spread it on Vita Wheat crackers. Eat it straight from the jar if you have to. In a crisis where you are rationing food, that caloric density matters enormously. Bega peanut butter is also comfort food. When everything else has gone wrong, a familiar taste from childhood provides psychological relief you cannot put a price on. Never underestimate the power of morale when you are weeks into a difficult situation. Peanut butter also works as a base for simple sauces if you have access to any heat source at all. Number 5. SPC baked beans. Another SPC product makes the list because it solves a critical problem. Complete protein from plant sources, ready to eat with zero preparation. In March 2022, SPC even launched Australia's first baked beans with Vegemite, proving how central this product is to Australian food culture. Beans are a powerhouse. They provide protein, carbohydrates, and fiber in a single can. The tomato sauce adds flavor and additional nutrients, including lycopene, which is a powerful antioxidant. So canned food retains its safety and nutritional value well beyond 2 years from processing. Open the can, grab a spoon, eat. That is the entire preparation required. For vegetarians in your household, baked beans become even more critical as a protein source. They also work brilliantly mixed with rice to create a more complete amino acid profile. Stack these cans deep in your pantry. They cost almost nothing. They last for years. And they deliver genuine nutrition when you need it most. This is not gourmet eating. This is survival eating. And SPC baked beans do the job perfectly. Number 4. Capilano Honey Liquid Gold. That is what they call it, and for very good reason. Capilano has been Australia's favourite honey brand since 1953, sourcing from Australian beekeeping families for over 70 years. Here is the remarkable truth about honey. It does not require an expiry date on the label in Australia. When stored properly, honey will not spoil, ever. The science is extraordinary. Honey has very low water content, around 14 to 18%, combined with an acidic pH and natural hydrogen peroxide production. This triple defense makes bacterial survival virtually impossible. Archaeologists have found 3,000-year-old honey in Egyptian tombs that was still perfectly edible. But honey is not just a sweetener. Modern studies confirm it is effective against antibiotic-resistant bacteria when applied to wounds. It soothes sore throats. It provides quick, natural energy when you need a boost. In a scenario where medical supplies are limited, honey becomes a genuine first aid resource. You can mix it with warm water for a soothing drink or use it to make foods more palatable when variety is limited. Store Capilano in glass jars away from sunlight. If it crystallizes, just warm the jar gently in water. You have a product that works as food medicine and energy source all in one. Number 3. Vegemite. The ultimate Australian survival food. Vegemite has been part of our national identity since 1922 and is now owned by Bega, keeping it under Australian ownership. A tiny smear of this concentrated yeast extract delivers a massive punch of B vitamins, including thiamine, riboflavin, niacin, and folate. These vitamins are essential for energy metabolism and nervous system function. In a prolonged crisis, when your diet becomes limited, B vitamin deficiency becomes a real risk. Historical records show that B vitamin deficiency can cause serious conditions like beriberi and pellagra. Vegemite solves that problem in a single spread. The shelf life is virtually indefinite when sealed. Even opened, it lasts for months in the pantry. A single jar goes an incredibly long way because you use so little at a time. You can also dissolve a small amount in hot water to make a savory broth that warms you up and provides nutrition. Beyond the nutrition, there is the psychological factor. When you are weeks into a crisis, eating from cans and packets, the familiar salty taste of Vegemite on a cracker provides a moment of normalcy. That morale boost matters more than you might think. It reminds you of better times and gives you something to look forward to at meal times. Number 2. Saxa salt. We are now at the most ancient form of currency on earth. Salt. The word salary literally comes from the Latin word salarium because Roman soldiers were paid in salt. That is how valuable this mineral has been throughout human history. Saxa has been an Australian household name since 1907. Here is the critical fact about salt. It cannot expire. Ever. It is a mineral, not a food. Sodium chloride creates an environment where bacteria simply cannot survive. In a collapse scenario, salt becomes irreplaceable. You need it for preserving meat through brining and curing. You need it for cooking. You need it for electrolyte balance, which is critical if clean water is scarce or if you are sweating heavily in the Australian heat. Dehydration combined with salt depletion can be deadly, especially when working hard in summer conditions. You can make a basic saline solution for cleaning wounds. You can gargle salt water to help with sore throats and mouth infections. A $2 box of Saxa from your local supermarket could easily trade for fresh produce when the shops are empty. Store it in airtight containers away from moisture. It will literally outlast your house. Keep multiple containers in different locations for redundancy. Number 1. Sunrice Australian grown rice. Taking the top spot is the ultimate survival staple. Sunrice is Australia's largest rice food company with product grown and milled right here on Australian soil. Rice sits at the foundation of emergency food planning for one simple reason: caloric density combined with virtually indefinite shelf life. White rice stored properly in airtight containers can last 25 to 30 years. It provides approximately 130 calories per 100 grams cooked. When planning your emergency stockpile, experts recommend 15 to 20 pounds of grains per person per month. Rice forms the bulk of that calculation. Unlike other items on this list, rice does require cooking, but it can be prepared over any heat source: a camp stove, a fire pit, a solar cooker, even a car engine in an emergency. The versatility is unmatched. Rice stretches every other food in your stockpile. Add canned tuna and you have a complete meal. Add baked beans for protein. Add canned vegetables for nutrition. Rice is the foundation that makes everything else work. It absorbs flavors well and turns small portions of other foods into satisfying meals. You can even cook extra and eat it cold the next day, mixed with canned fish and vegetables. Store your rice in food-grade buckets with oxygen absorbers for maximum longevity. Keep it away from moisture and pests. A 20-kilogram bag costs very little but provides enormous food security. It is cheap, it stores forever, and it feeds you when nothing else will. That is why it takes the number 1 spot. So there you have it. 12 everyday Australian products that will keep you fed for 90 days without power.